Hey all, John Divin here with my partner in crime, Shad Levine, and we are back with another episode of Deep Divin, where Deep Divin takes you places that you may not go. So, and you'll be happy you took the ride with us too. So I love that look, Shad Levine. Welcome back.
If looks could kill, right?
He was great, man. He was great. Perfectly ready for spring. I'm a little more dark and wintry, but I'll fix that for the next episode. It's great to have you back, man.
Great to have me back. Great to have you back.
I love that. Folks, as a reminder, what we get to do here, finding us on YouTube, finding us anywhere you get your video clips, is the reminder, which is this: practical, easy, usable tips that move you further along the line to make certain, number one, that you're hitting your goals. Number two, that you're able to take these techniques and advance situations to make certain that you're optimizing every big money play. And that's why we're here.
Big money play. I like that.
Isn't that right?
I like that. We're gonna. Can we make sure we keep that in the repertoire?
We're gonna have to listen. Just the you reminding me increases the odds that we keep it in the repertoire. I'm also gonna say you say repertoire way better than me, and so the answer is absolutely yeah.
So maybe we can end. Like, you know how we do our take-home message at the end?
Boom.
What if we call it our big money play?
Our big money play of the week. I know. I won't even say of the week. Big money play. You're exactly correct. Done. So here's what we've been thinking. And folks, always excited when you see our clips. Make certain if you've got ideas that you want us to deep dive on for you, drop it in the comments anywhere you see us. Whether it's YouTube or anywhere on social media, give us a heads up because we'd love to get your input as well too. But in the meantime, what we get to do is keep us going. And one of the things that my buddy and I have been thinking about is just being able to sustain momentum. Look, in any business situation, you're playing a short game and a long game, and situations can throw you. One of the things I've been thinking about was, with so many external situations going on, it's amazing how much damage they can do. And I simply mean external, family, outside sources, social media, politics, economics, whatever, the real estate market.
All the X,
right? But what I would say is this. It's not necessarily the short-term damage that's problematic, although that can be. It's the long-term damage that you allow it to do to your goals, your plans, your dreams, your aspirations. And that's what we wanted to take on today. And I'm speaking for myself. I ain't right back to Northeast Philly. I ain't pointing fingers. Your communications leader is saying, I ain't playing. But the fact of the matter is that it's true. And I'll throw myself under a bus briefly first, which is, look,
that's fine. Throw yourself under the bus.
I know, right? But what I would say is that what I'm thinking about is the damage that can be done when you're taking yourself out of the game voluntarily, which makes no sense whatsoever. You want to touch on our topic, or do you want me to roll it out and do the 2 minutes? What do you prefer?
Well, I mean, I always like, I'm gonna, and I do this on purpose, guys.
Good.
I want this to be practical and real for you. So, for me this week, I'm gonna reframe and rephrase exactly what we're trying to do, which is finding your fearlessness, right? And it goes in conjunction with what John was just talking about. How do you become indestructible? How do you become a force to be reckoned with, so that these external things aren't completely destroying you, aren't becoming your kryptonite, right? And if you think back to when you're young and when you're growing up and you get your vibrato, you get your cojones, whatever other word you want to use, your machismo, your oomph, all of this comes down to
I'm in multiple languages. I like all of this.
It all comes down to finding your fearlessness. And if you remember when you were younger and you had less people to take care of and less things to think about, you only thought about the what if, right? You followed the beautiful possibility of optimism. As you've gotten older and mortality kicks in, you have other people to worry about, other things come into your mind, you become more fearful, right? And that's okay, but it's not okay if it's preventing you from moving forward and getting things done. So what John and I are going to really explore today are identifying the things that are attacking you on a daily basis and finding practical ways you can fight against them to push forward.
I love the way you reframe that. And one of the things I think about, like for me, being in the communications game for close to 30 years, which is crazy for me the way time flies. And I can remember when I jumped into the field, I had family members that were in the field, and they are great, were and are. And so I kind of tiptoed in the beginning because I didn't want to tread on their domain, so to speak. But I get in and I realized I had to make a mark because while my sisters paved the way for me because everybody knew them and respected them, it never got me a job. It never got me a sale. It never got me a promotion or an advancement. I had to figure that out on my own. So I had a fearlessness, and thank you for that part, because I did. And whether it wasn't desperation. It was the sense that really quickly, I knew I was in the right field. Really quickly. It was really less than 2 weeks. I remember calling a colleague and feeling great about it, where I was making no money at the time. I had just gotten in. So what changes? In that beginning phase, I remember I could go for long time periods, relentless in regards to getting to the goal. How many calls I was making. It wasn't hard for me. Rejection wasn't hard for me because I really believed, and as it turned out, I was right, that I would just get it the next time. The next call would be the money call. The next call would be the close. The next meeting. So knowing that, I remember it was really easy for me to stay on my game. 30 some odd years later, things go. Family situations, life stuff, financial stuff.
Sure.
External stuff. And it gets a little bit more difficult for me to stay as consistently on. And so
are you spending more time worrying than doing?
Maybe not more, but a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I would say I can't say that yet, but there are pieces and pockets of a day. And whether it was like the tale of 24 hours, right? So yesterday, I'm all up in my head and I'm not making any headway. And today felt a million times better. So I can't necessarily say I know exactly what the mental difference was. Here's what I will say. The safeguards that I put into play, I didn't have those safeguards 30 years ago. I didn't have those guardrails. I didn't need them. And so one of the reasons when I launched my coaching company was the sense the guardrails came with life experiences. So when I talk about breathing techniques, when I had no breathing techniques when I launched 30 years ago, I just went, you know.
And you know, John, it's interesting. So the breathing techniques, right?
Right.
I'm curious. Like, let's talk about that for a second.
Sure.
What exactly are the breathing techniques supposed to do?
Okay. They're supposed to, like there's a term that I've learned, pattern disruption. So time can elevate, tension can take place. All they're supposed to do, the way that I coach them, is break you out of a pattern in the short term. I hate to compare
when you say pattern, what do you mean pattern?
Getting all tense and tenser and tenser and worked up and worked up. So momentum has positive and negative effects. And what I'm looking to get rid of are the negative effects. Snowballing. This call didn't go great. Oh my God, now traffic is bad and it's such and such. And you've got this big boulder. What this is supposed to do, and oh God, I don't want to sound like the dog whisperer or compare clients to them, but it's like literally just to snap you out of a situation quickly. That's all it's supposed to do, right?
And I actually interpret it as you're taking the time to consciously get yourself back and recenter yourself. 100%. So whatever you're doing, whether it's breathing, whether it's eating, whether it's television, whether it's walking, I don't care what it is. You're disrupting a disruptive train of thought, right? And you're taking a time to pause and recenter yourself,
right? So,
and that's why I'm taking what you said and segueing into our big money play here,
boom,
right? which is really finding ways to kill that signal that's made you oh God. I'm trying to
tired, irritable, basket case.
A sissy. Oh
my God. I remember that term growing up, and that was right. It was like,
because John,
don't call me a sissy.
I mean, that's what it's become. It's become, like and I think that's one of the biggest things as we mature and get older and have life experiences and care for other people. Think about it. You care for other things other than yourself, right? You care for other things other than yourself. When you think back to when you're growing up, you are the focus of everything. It's a complete narcissistic way of viewing life. As you've gotten older, you're starting to care more. Well, what do they think? Am I doing for this? Or you can get so overwhelmed by that, right? That you can't find your way back to some level of balance. And the balance has to be self-confidence, along with being mindful and supportive of others, right? And that is the most difficult thing right now. It's the lack of balance. It's okay to worry. It's okay to have fear. It's not okay to swim in it.
No, or drown in it. And so to me, that it's the reminder of all of that. And I love the way you say that. The reminder is this: you do not need to invest a ton of time, dollars, or talent to break the pattern. You simply don't. One of the things is I teach situational. I practice long-term, but I get a stronger degree of satisfaction out of teaching situationally because the satisfaction that you see from someone when you can in seconds break a pattern.
And you know what's funny, John? Sometimes we are the thing that people need to do that, right? That is the benefit of coaching, because if you can't get yourself out of that thought pattern and that habitual negativity and the sea of worry, you need someone to, to give you that.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That looked like a Northeast Philadelphia discipline technique.
Hey,
you're right. That you won't see, folks. It's not the having the information available. You do. You simply do. That Google, you know what I mean? Break the pattern. You'll find it. But the fact is, are you willing to do it? Are you so up in your head that you're unable to take take that whack on the backside?
I kind of want to just take like a big bucket of water and throw it on your face, right?
It is. Oh my God!
Proverbial,
right? Oh God, thank you. Right. So sometimes the ice bucket challenge absolutely works. Why do you think? Look, folks. Why do you think everybody is investing in $7,000 cold plunge tubs? Right? Whether you have the money or not, because that's what this is about. Now, let's say you're not near your cold plunge, or you're not near the $7,000 to plug all of this in with electrical outlets. So what do you do? And that's, to me, it's because, look, if you know, and I do know, and I know very little, but I know this, you can disrupt patterns really easily. You can fix a situation. If you know that I have to be right for this meeting in 5 minutes, you got a couple of choices. Number one, freak out. Not ready. Not a great choice. Not a great choice. Or B, walk in with all your baggage from the 2:00 meeting and the 1:00 situation and that family thing. And God, I never should have read that text. You can bring all of this into your next meeting. Or C, disrupt the pattern. Just disrupt it. Leave all that in the car.
Yeah.
Right? I had a podcast guest. I love the guy. Germ Fuller is his name. And he talked about he was in a grieving process and a very painful family loss. And what he chose to do was the reminder to get out of it was simply the reminder that he left all of those bags, in that case, actual grief, at the door of the next meeting he was going to. In his mind, that was the visual. Just drop the bags here. I'll go grab them right after the meeting. And what happens is that sense of just breaking a pattern. Isolated, I call it the Navy SEALs breathing techniques. Talked about it repeatedly, and it makes me laugh now, but I only because in the repetitiveness, not in the effectiveness. Science-based, proven, the reminder that you could snap this in literally 16 seconds. Right? And the sense of combining those breathing techniques in that same 16 seconds with a reminder that you've done something that you're either proud of or is cool or works. Just remind yourself of maybe a successful meeting. And in those 16 seconds, think about it. We've talked about this in our other episodes. But I'm telling you, in 16 seconds, you can snap the pattern. And I'll give you a bonus big money play. And so brought to you by FanDuel. We're not. We're not. We're working on that one. But literally talk to somebody. Do not talk at them.
Yeah. Or don't talk to chat GPT either, right?
Jesus, right? Just talk to somebody.
Chat GPT is not going to be accurate on that.
Well, what about Chat GPT? That is really accurate. Listen, one of the things that I think about is one of the reasons that coaching works, or working with coaches, or at the very least, speak with like-minded people that have big goals, big dreams, big plans. Talk to people outside of your pay or above your pay grade, or hire a coach. Because, Chad, you were giving that beautiful example, and I love that, right? Where you're all like freaked out. You can't get out of it. You can't get out of it. You got somebody to throw a big bucket of water at you.
It's true.
Imagine how refreshing it feels when you come to realize, oh, I got this. You know?
Well, again, and it comes back, finding your fearlessness is the most eloquent way of putting what I'm trying to say is stop being a bleep. And you've got to really remind yourself that, you know what? You had cojones at one point in your life, right? You had.
Well, I'd like to think I did. Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
You had the courage, right? Nothing has changed. What's changed are some worries and fears and other things. But if you think about it, you still have the same person. And that's something we can talk about, down the line, maybe even next episode, which is tapping back into the person and to the things that make you who you are, right? A true badass.
Yeah. And when you think about it, you are a stronger badass based on your life experiences. And when you think about all the stuff, all the walls you've run through, think about all the situation, all the business you've closed, the promotions you've received. Even if we're talking to you and you're brand new to the field or the situation, there are life experiences that you've done. So this applies to if you're the wet behind the ears, just getting out of college, or the 20 plus years in the field and you've gotten nicked a couple of times And so it's like it doesn't matter, or somewhere in the middle.
And John, that's a really good point, right? So think about life in general,
right?
And you and I are great examples. We've had to pivot career-wise, financially.
Sure. Yeah.
No one sits there and says, "I can't wait to change jobs and change careers." And it's not fun. No. It's uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. It's frightening. All the negative, right? But when you start out and you're at ground zero, which is college, figuring out what you want to do, having no idea where you'll be, who you'll work with, will it be enough money? Will you make the progression professionally? The things that you can't control in the profession, will there be changes on the government level? Will there be changes on the corporate level?
Sure.
You have to be adaptable, right? Because wouldn't it be nice if I could just come out into the job, stay there for 40 years, retire, and never have to think about it? How common is that nowadays? It's not.
Oh, it's not existent.
It's the gig economy. It's the multi-job economy, right? And if that's the case, you have to have the ability to stop, pivot, start, stop, pivot, start. And that's going to require you to tap back into that fearlessness. Because if you can't, you will be a kitty in the rain crying for their mommy at a certain age. And you know what? You don't want to be the kitten crying for their mommy in the rain.
Kitty in the rain, it's just bad.
And that is the big money play today.
That's your big money play today. I think it's been wonderful. I don't feel like I can add anything better, but I will say one thing. It's just sadly what I do. All I would say is, look, folks, just realize, take that big money play of the day and remember point blank that when we were deep diving,
I don't think I can add. If you don't have, you got nothing.
There you go. You got nothing. And that's what we like to deliver here.
Well,
deep diving. But we will say this. Take the pressure off yourself. If everybody is in this multi-career business life, if everybody's in it, not just you, that everybody's working 40 years but you, everyone is keeping their same job but you, nobody is. Nobody is. So take the pressure off of yourself. Follow my buddy Chad Levine. I love the death, who makes very difficult tactics and techniques so workable and useful and easy to remember.
Don't be that kitty.
And why you should work with them. Point blank.
And by the way, I've chosen. I know we're ending our show, and we should because people have had enough, I'm sure, today.
Just this one. Just this one.
But I have chosen Superstar Coaching. Just an FYI.
It's official?
Yeah. It's a final decision.
Boom, 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 boom. Superstar Coaching just works. It's you.
Superstar Coaching. Develop your badass mentality. Find your cojones. Don't be the kitty in the rain. That's it. That's my big money play, John.
But listen, I don't know that you can get any bigger than that. So meanwhile, folks, Superstar Coaching's Chad Levine, Divin Coaching. Seriously took a lot of time for me to get that. Divin Coaching's John Divin. Much love, folks. You have just seen and heard another episode of Deep Diving. So keep watching for the clips. Keep shouting us out. Make certain if you got something you want us to dive into, give us a high sign, and we'll keep coming back for more. Folks, have a great rest of the day. Please do it.
Peace.
Boom. We love you. Bye, bye, bye.